Hello class. Today we're going to practice making that Model Magic Sundae. We're going to practice using Play-Doh. I realize that Play-Doh is a little more dense. It's heavier than the fluffy Model Magic, but it still has a lot of the same properties that will help us to practice making that sundae before we use our Model Magic. All right, so you want to have a small, a medium, and two large spheres of Play-Doh. As close a size as you can get them for the large ones. I started by thinking, okay, this is gonna be my cherry, so let's roll that small one, and then I'll make another one a little bit bigger, and then I'll make the other two bigger than the medium one. By thinking about this as the cherry, that helped me gauge the medium one, which is gonna be our whipped cream, and the large ones, one of which is gonna be the piece we wrap around the aluminum foil, and one piece of Play-Doh is going to impersonate the aluminum foil. All right, so let's get started. We need the large spheres of Play-Doh first. One we're gonna pretend is our aluminum foil. So what we wanna do is basically flatten this like a pancake, make a circle that we're gonna wrap around the aluminum foil. Okay, the pretend aluminum foil. All right, so you can flatten this by pushing it in your hands to flatten it. You can flatten it by laying it on the table and flattening it. You can flatten it by pinching it between your fingers. We're basically making a slab. This is called a slab in clay. Or I should say, when you're sculpting. This is called a slab when you're sculpting, working with clay-like materials. All right, so I'm trying to make sure that this is gonna cover, I think maybe just a little bit more. When you are working with your Model Magic doing this, you wanna make sure it doesn't get too thin. If it gets too thin, when you put it on the aluminum foil, the actual aluminum foil is gonna be kind of bumpy. So if it's too thin, that will show up through the Model Magic. So you do wanna be careful about not getting that too thin. All right, and when I think that I've got it enough to cover, I'm gonna start wrapping it. Remember that it is okay to have an opening at the bottom of your aluminum foil because it's gonna sit, we're gonna squeeze the brown glue in the bottom of the cup and then sit the ice cream ball down into that. So if there's a little opening on the bottom, that's okay. All right, so I think I've got this enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here and start gently folding it towards the bottom. So remember, I'm trying to keep it smooth so it looks like an ice cream ball. So I'm gently trying to press those ruffles down, kind of stretch them to the bottom a little bit. If you get little ruffly areas like that, just use your finger to press them out. You can even kind of slide your finger a little to try to smooth them out. Again, it's okay to have this at the bottom because it will sit in the cup in a little bit of hot fudge at the bottom of the cup, so nobody's gonna see it. You just wanna do your best to kind of smooth the ice cream ball out. All right, so I feel like that's good enough. Again, opening on the bottom is fine. So we're gonna put that off to the side here. Try and make it sit up nice. We're gonna work on the whipped cream now. So now we just did slab, the flat piece that we wrapped around the fake aluminum foil. We are now going to roll this into a snake and use the coil technique to create our whipped cream. So don't roll this too thin. I'm gonna say maybe bigger than the size of a pencil. The length of a pencil looks good. All right, so a traditional coil, you just take the end, turn it in like that, and wrap the rest of your Play-Doh around it. But we don't want a traditional, oh, I was off camera for that, hang on. So traditional coil, take the end of your snake that you made, turn it in, and then wrap the coil around itself. Okay, so what we're gonna do this time, because we want this to look like whipped cream, is we're gonna kind of wind it so it turns out to be kind of a cone. So let's take that ending that is normally wrapped around there, we're gonna pinch it a little to make it the top of the whipped cream. Just give it a little pinch, and then try to wrap this kind of like a little mountain. There we go. So it only took like 1, 2, 3 wraps maybe. That is our beautiful, oh gosh, it looks like poop emoji, doesn't it? That is our beautiful poop emoji whipped cream. So we're gonna pop that on top of our fake aluminum foil ice cream ball. It almost looks like a little hat. All right, and the last thing we want to do, we've already got the cherry rolled into a ball. That's all you need to do. Since we're not putting the stem in it today, you can like press a little hole in the top if you want, or you could even, to get that little indentation in the top where the stem goes, you could even use your fingernail and just make a little, and then kind of squish it in, make a little indentation, and that'll be the top where your stem goes. And then you just pop that in the place that you want on your whipped cream. And voila, you have made a beautiful Play-doh Sundae. Oops, I lost my little cherry. Let's put him back over here. And you are ready to either practice a few more times and get good at it. And when we do Model Magic next class, you will be ready to make a beautiful Model Magic Fluffy Clay Sundae. Have fun, guys.